Hey. I want to make sure that I am live. So give me 1 second because I saw some things post up. Hey, Rochelle. So I guess it is working. I saw some things happen. Like, I don't know what's going on with iOS and the internet, but a lot of systems have been having issues connecting, and communicating with these changes. But anyway, welcome back to Family Talk Friday. I'm your host, Karwana D. Also, I'm glad that I'm live. I'm your host, Kawana D. Today, we're going to talk about 10 known brands with government contracts. And the reason why, I like to call these Friday talks like the Family Talk Fridays, because really it's all about showing you how to take your business and, create a legacy business and make it profitable, something that you can build. These are like wealth strategies, like generational wealth building strategies that, of course, we stop talking about at the table when it comes to families, especially minority families, because everyone is on the go. Everyone is distracted with technology. Everyone's on their phones while the kids are on their, on video games and stuck in cyberspace and all these other things. So we don't even have most of us don't have that family circle where we're talking about what we're going to do, how we're going to build this legacy, what we're going to pass down. And so these are the days that I love sharing with you all, about taking your business, right, which is a great way to generate wealth, and showing you some tips and strategies on how to make that business a legacy for your family so that you can begin to build generational wealth. So welcome. Happy Friday, everyone. Rochelle, you were the first one here today. Welcome. And hi, TJ. Hello, Alicia Pug. Welcome. If you're joining on Facebook, be sure to click on the StreamYard link so that I am able to see your name when you post a comment. If you're joining on YouTube, welcome. Be sure to like the notifications, subscribe, all those great things so you'll know when we're joining live. But also join us on the Facebook community as well. We have an amazing group called the Government Contracts for Women and Minority Business Owners, which is a community of amazing people, amazing entrepreneurs who are all striving to generate wealth with their business. And learning and also helping one another. But that is also where I stream live on these Fridays outside of YouTube. So hello, who else is joining us? Sandra, hello. So today I'm going to actually be talking about 10 known brands, right, that has government contracts. And you're going to be surprised. Like, you will be surprised on who's doing business with the government. And the reason why I thought it was important for me to share and, to share these things with you all. And I think I've shared one before. I've named some companies, some amazing brands that are getting contracts with the government. But the reason why I share this information is because government contracts actually is something that levels the playing ground so that you can become that next big brand. So if you ever wonder, where does companies like YouTube and Google and Uber and Lyft, like, how do they just start a business and then before you know it become a national known brand, right? Well, the difference between them and just independent small business owners, that they have this knowledge about doing business with government agencies, but also with corporations. And that's how they're booming. That is one of the reasons why they're able to grow and expand so fast at that massive rate, right? But the great thing is that even if you were a mom and pop shop, even if you are a solopreneur by yourself in business struggling, you can do this too. So government contracting is something that definitely levels the playing ground so that it'll give you an opportunity to be able to grow a thriving business, build capacity, become the employers of tomorrow, generate wealth. And it's just so much on the table. Hello, Cameron Creations. Hello, Cameron England. Welcome. So anyway, so some of these brands you're definitely going to be highly familiar with. And for those of you who are new to my channel, maybe you've never heard of me before, I'm Karwana D. I'm a government contract strategist, and I help women and minority small business owners learn how to grow their business with government contracts so they can have consistent, sustainable income, regular paying customers, and get out of that position of struggle. Because it is nothing like having a small business and you're trying to make it and you're in a place of struggle. And so That is my vision. That is my mission, to empower other women, to empower other, Black and brown business owners. But also, I mean, outside of that, I mean, I don't discriminate. Yeah. Will I work with a white male? Yes, absolutely. I will. I will work with other, nationalities that are non-minority as well, as long as you are a small business, right? Because really, this is just what it's all about. Like, big business versus small business. Now, small business have the opportunity to become big businesses, right? And it's really just a matter of having the knowledge, the know-how, and understanding. So before I jump into the categories that I'm going to be sharing with you all today of these well-known brands, like some of you have used these brands, you wear these brands, you are very familiar with these brands. I wanted to share this thought, this thought that I had this morning. So I am, I don't know, I'm a solutionary first. I am a solutionary. I am, and I'm going to trademark that. I am a solutionary to all problems when it comes to just problems in general. Like, I'm that type of person that's always thinking of a solution. Whenever someone's like, oh, I can't do this because of that, well, let's figure it out. Or you're frustrated because things don't go the way that you plan. Let's figure out another way to look at it instead of just being frustrated, instead of just stopping right in your steps or whatever. There's always a solution to an issue. One of the biggest solutions to the issue of struggling business is to learn how to sell your services to that largest customer, who is the biggest paying customer you could ever acquire, which will transform, and I wish I had a bigger word than that, but will definitely transform your business right into a corporation, like, or bigger than that, right? Into this amazing place. And so let me see. Cameron says, I just got invited to submit a phase 1 proposal to the American Seed Fund powered by the National Science Foundation and need assistance with that. Awesome. It's your first proposal, and can you assist me with it? Yes, I can help you with that, definitely, with some tips and strategies. So let's hop on a strategy call. I will drop my link for you to just book a strategy session, specifically if that's what you want. I have something more long-term, right, than that one-off for that one particular situation. But because it's like this is what the need right now, then I think a consult, you can benefit from a consult specifically related to that. But for something long term, I want to teach a man to fish, right? That's what I am. I really believe in not just giving a piece of bread to feed someone, but to show them how to go out and bake that bread, and to get the flour to make that bread and all that stuff so they can sell that bread. Hey, so teach a man to fish, he'll never starve again. So I want to teach you the strategy, and we can talk about that during our consult, but I'll drop that link in just a moment. But anyway, I was talking about, so I'm the type of person, right? I grew up in a family of 7, and my mom was a single parent. So, of course, as a single parent, right, and you got 7 kids and you by yourself, all your kids is going to do something around the house, right? Cleaning was like, I dreaded Saturday mornings because you'll wake up with, I remember waking up with hungry pains, and I'm like, I'm waking up starved, I'm hungry, and I smell pine sol and bleach. And we got to get up and wash clothes and wipe down walls. I don't know if they do that these days, right? Again, I don't know if people do that these days, like, because the big mamas and stuff like that, they're no longer here. And the new grandmas are trying to be in the clubs. And so the generation has really changed. But we used to wake up and have to scrub walls, bleach floors, bleach counters, and all this stuff, wash clothes on the weekends, especially. Clean toilets, all that stuff, right? So before you can even go outside, you had to do that. But I'm getting to a point, so stick with me. I'm going to take you somewhere with this. So the thought was, when I became an adult, I was like really, 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 really super technical when it comes to cleaning. And so but one time I realized something about myself that I didn't know before. And it was like later on, like later in my late 20s, early 30s. I realized that I had a little bit of OCD, meaning I remember wiping the counters down, like in my house. I remember wiping the counters down. And I was like, well, I wonder what this counter would look like if I got eye level with it, right? So look from the top, looking down at your counters, when you're wiping those surfaces and cleaning those surfaces, it looks really clean, smells bleachy, smells good, all that stuff. But imagine if you got down eye level with that counter. Because when I started understanding you got to get eye level with certain surfaces to see what's really going on, like it was like little bitty crumbs that you can't see from the top looking down, little bitty crumbs that that are stuck under like the toaster and stuck under here, and or just a little bit of like sugar crumbs or bread crumbs or whatever that you thought you wiped away, right? And so with that said, with that said, where are the big mamas at? Any big mamas on here? Anybody is a clean freak? So with that said, I thought about it from the perspective of a business, right? I thought about it from the perspective of a business. Sometimes we're looking at a business from the top down. And you're not eye level. Some of us have not been eye level with our business, so we can see what's wrong, the missing pieces, the imperfection, the things that we're missing, right? And so the moral of the story is, when you have a business, a small business owner, and sometimes people can make their business sounds really amazing. Like, I don't know about you, but I remember, even before I was really thriving as a business owner, Sandra said I'm guilty. I was really before I was even thriving as a business owner. I used to say, oh, I am this, small business owner. I own a multi, production company and blah, blah, blah. I do this and do that, blah, blah, blah. Right. And so sometimes we can make our business sound so beautiful and so powerful and like we're so accomplished. But truth of the matter is, on the inside, if I was to ask what that bank account looked like or what the revenues looking like, right, then, we know the truth. Okay. So a business, when you're looking from the top down, of course, when you're listening from the outside in, of course, it can sound good and it can look good. But the truth of the matter is, small businesses sometimes struggle, especially if you're starting that thing from the ground up, right? Sometimes you got to get a surface level with your business. And this is the things that I like to share, that surface level view of your business, so you can see what's missing. And that's really what building a business that thrives, building a business that demands financial capacity and demands or attracts, funders, and attracts, and it gets you approved for lines of credit, and gets you approved for government contracting and doing business on a greater scale. You have to get eye level with your business to know the missing pieces. Because sometimes we think we know it all. And I love when people say, oh, I'm SAM registered, right? I figured it out on my own. I'm SAM registered. What's next, right? So it sounds like, and I could be wrong, somebody told you something, but they only gave you a little piece to the puzzle. Because if you think that SAM registration is it, and the next step is to land a contract, then think again. Get eye level with this thing. There's some things that are missing. There's some things and some structure, some foundation, some knowledge, that blueprint, a lot of pieces, a lot of missing pieces, right? So even if you had the SAM certification, the woman-owned small business, the economically disadvantaged woman-owned small business, all those different certifications, some people have them. I'm certified, now what? Is the statement for me. I'm certified, now what, right? A lot of times I hear this, what do I do with my certifications? And that's why I say that foundation of your business is going to be one of the most important things that you have to understand how it works. Can you get certified and become a government contractor, and within your first 1, 2, 3 years be landing those multiple $1 million contracts? Absolutely. It is possible. I've seen it happen. I see it happening. I know I have colleagues that have done this, right? But you have to understand how it works. And you have to understand it. You have to understand it from the inside out. Just like you can't just one day, after going to a doctor's appointment and they tell you, oh, you have a upper respiratory, a URI, upper respiratory infection, and now you know what a code is taught, is called in medical terms. So now you think you're a doctor. You have a URI. So you're gonna put on your stethoscope and start treating people. No, you have to go to school and know from the medical standpoint, how to treat a cold, what's the symptoms of a cold, is it a cold, what else could be going on, all those things. And it's the same with business. You have to understand how to properly build a business. You have to understand how to do government contracting, right? It takes knowledge. It doesn't take 30 minutes. You can't learn this in 30 minutes. You can't learn it in 5 minutes. You can't learn it in a day. It's you have to study to show yourself approved. There's some things that you have to know in order to be successful. And you want to have the full blueprint. You don't want to have one piece of the puzzle and then be stuck and keep getting stuck every step of the way. If you understand the full way that it works, then of course you can bust out the gate within 3 to 6 months, bust out the gate, thriving and landing contracts, and landing them multiple at a time simultaneously. But anyway, hopefully that helps. So I'm going to be talking about later. I'm going to be talking about the 5-day challenge that's coming up. And that is where I'm going to take you eye level with your business so you can see the missing pieces. You can understand what works, what doesn't work, like why business is the way it is, how to get the funding that you need, the capital that you need, all those things, getting qualified for government, what to do next, understanding your marketplace, how much are they spending, all of those things we're going to cover in the 5-day challenge, right? I don't have these very often, but I love having them because I love empowering small business owners so we can help you transform where you are to where you want to be, right? And it's just a matter of, just that knowledge. Sometimes you need a little bit of hand holding with some guidance and some action steps. And that's really what it's all about, action steps, right? So anyway, all that said, I'll come back to that in just a moment, but I want to take you to these 10 companies that are worth billions, right? Worth billions and billions of dollars. They supply a variety of goods, including like internet service, ride share, travel, telecommunication services, beverages, like food catering, like all these different services. There's 10 companies that I want to share with you that are well-known brands. And so if you provide any of these services, the reason why I'm sharing their brand is because I want you to know their brand could be your brand, right? Your name could be on this list, right? If you get in position, your name could be on this list. So if you are a business that provides internet services or IT services, or you have a trucking company and you provide ride share or deliverable services or whatever, you're a travel agency, maybe you book flights or do travel planning for other people or whatever that is, there's a contract for that, right? So the only difference between them and you, if you haven't started landing government contracts, is because they know the system and they know that this was out there. And it's the biggest kept secret, the $1 trillion biggest kept secret, right? Until my big mouth, of course, until my big mouth found out. And I'm going to share it with everybody because I think every small business owner needs to know you shouldn't have to struggle in business, right? Business is the quickest way. Having a business is how you generate wealth, right? But of course, a lot of us have been transformed and programmed to go to school to get a job or work for somebody else who has a business, right? But no, you can go to school, start your own business and, employ people and build a legacy. So that's just flipping the script and turning the story inside out. So anyway, let's see here. So we have, so Cameron, my assistant, just dropped the schedule, the link for you to go ahead and schedule a call with me, with my team or whatever, so we can talk about the consultation. So anyway, number one on my list is we're all familiar with them. So this is a company that just kind of like came out of nowhere a few years ago, very short few years ago, with this new concept that we can do video conferencing. And during the pandemic, their company, their stock and everything just kind of like catapulted to the next level. And we all know that to be Zoom. So Zoom is a company, of course, provides video conferencing services where you can have virtual meetings like this, basically virtual meetings and presentations or whatever, and meet virtually without having to meet in person. There's so many different things that you can do with Zoom. But it does fall in line with like multimedia, right? So if you're a multimedia company, just consider, just Zoom as an example of something that you can do that's unique and offer that is unique. But best believe Zoom has a government contract, and they have several of them. In fact, they have multiple contracts simultaneously with the government. So boom, there you go. So if you want to know the secret to Zoom's overnight success, one of those secrets is that they sell that service to the government as well as to individual business owners, as to individual people as well. And so Zoom is the number one company on my list. Number two, we all know them as Yahoo. Back in the day, Yahoo first, I think it was AOL first, right? Then Yahoo came along, and then Google came along, and then all these other search engines and all that stuff, right? But Yahoo has been around for ages. Like, they've been around for ages. And you may think that Yahoo is obsolete now, but no, they're not, because guess what? Yahoo has just switched up the game. So instead of marketing to people, right, for the most part, they still do, but instead of primarily marketing to people, they're selling those services to the government for internet services, for search engines and email service or whatever, right? So Yahoo has contracts with the government. Hopefully you're surprised. If you're surprised, let me know. If you're one of those, if your business fits into any of these industries, let me know that too. And it doesn't have to necessarily, just because it's Zoom doesn't mean you have to provide like a video conference service. If it has anything to do with cameras and video and film and photos, like that's your industry, right? When it comes to Yahoo, that's technology. If you have anything to do with IT tech, anything that has to do with search engines, with all that type of stuff, yeah, best believe that is your industry. You have a lane there too. So, but anyway, Microsoft. We all use Microsoft Word, Microsoft Excel, Microsoft, what do you call that? PowerPoint, like so many different services. But Microsoft also has Microsoft Office, like Office products like the 360 and all these other things. But Microsoft is also a contractor for the government. So they do sell their services to the government. You know what the secret to the whole thing is? Everything that the government utilizes, right? From lights to cameras to action, from lights to food to like buildings that they're in to all the service work that has to happen, their cleaning services, all of that has to be provided by an outside contractor. So this is the reason why it's so important that the government is not just providing, they can't provide their own service legally. They have to contract it out. And it's those businesses that understand how to position themselves to be that contractor that absolutely wins. Okay. So I want to say in the past, I don't even think it's been 10 years since rideshare has become a huge thing, right? So rideshare, that's the Lyfts, the Ubers, and whoever has rideshare companies. But Lyft has a major contract, in fact, with the government in providing rideshare services. So if you have a limousine company, if you have like anything in transportation, right? A trucking business, anything that can with on four wheels that can get you from one place to another or ship something from one place to another, of course, that's your lane. So if Lyft can do it, you can do it. These are the reasons why they become phenomenal companies overnight. It's not just because they had the capital. It's not just because they had the best credit. It's not just because they had a huge team that came together with angel investors and all this other stuff, right? It's because they got smart and they got strategic. And they knew that this was a giant customer, that one contract could be billions of dollars for that particular company. And so that's what they have. They have a contract with the government. Okay. Number 5 on my list, of course, we all travel. We all fly, right? We know some of these big boys have been around ever since we were before we were even born. So American Airlines is one of the travel agencies or airline companies that actually has a contract with the government. Okay. So for those of you who are small business owners, and I know quite a few who have private jets or whatever, or maybe you aspire to grow your business so that you can invest in some private jets or jet fleet or fighter fleets or whatever, definitely this is your lane. So, I mean, just imagine if the military, the government, and all that stuff, if they can fly, of course, everybody travels. So if they can fly through American Airlines, just imagine if it was like a president or someone special or whatever, and they don't want to fly through regular, airlines or companies or through regular airports. They want to do something private, right? So if you have a private jet, who knows? Maybe you can get a private government contract, right? So, and it's crazy because travel industries, people like Ford, of course, and companies like Tesla, they're all contracted with the government. So when you think about like, because sometimes we think of these brands and we think like, oh, they're so big over here, and me, I'm just this kitty shop. I'm just kitty shop, whatever. I like that, the kitty shop. I just got a kitty shop, whatever. So they're so large, and I just have this little kitty shop. But guess what? Your kitty shop could become that Tesla, that huge brand, because now you understand how to do business with one of the largest customers, and your name could be the next household name, right? The biggest next name in America, where you're building legacy. But even if you don't want to go that big, you can go as big as or small or as medium or whatever as you want. So anyway, next on my list is, guess what? So of course, batteries, whether it's a battery for your car, battery for trinkets and toys or whatever. Energizer, right? That Energizer bunny that y'all see and have been seeing in the commercials for several years. Energizer's company has contracts with the government. They sell batteries. They sell batteries to the government. That's crazy. So guess what? Imagine if you are a supplier, or if you are a store, you have a small store or a mom and pop shop where you sell things that people need. I don't know. It could be tissue, batteries, like, whatever it is, you have a store. Guess what? You can sell products to the government. I know people who sell toothbrushes to the government. I know folks who sell dog treats to the government. So your thing, that you think is your little kitty thing, you can sell to the government, and they, of course, they buy in bulk, right? Because the government is huge. There's a million agencies on the federal level, 100 million agencies on the state level, and there's just hundreds of thousands of agencies on the local city and county level, and that's across all 50 states or 51 states or however many states it is now. I lost count. so Energizer Batteries does have a contract with the government. So for those of you who have product-based businesses, guess what? You can sell your products to the government. All right, so next on my list, we have Nikon. Pose for the camera. So Nikon, which is one of the most top known brands for cameras. They're really known for their beautiful colors, and of course, I shoot with Nikons as well. But definitely, Nikon is smart enough to have services. They sell their services to the government. The government buys telescopes and lenses and camera kits and all these types of things. And Nikon knew that and got themselves in position to sell their services to the government. So the largest retailer that changed the game for almost every store, like all the Sears are disappearing. Who else disappeared? Kmart, of course, probably non-existent. I don't even know. Some places it doesn't even exist anymore. Those, remember Woolworths? I'm aging myself. Woolworths, like all of those different type of stores where you have to walk in to get the things that you need. Now there's this big giant called Amazon, where you can just buy anything. You could buy beds online. You could buy anything that you want on this store. And guess what? The government gave Amazon a contract. They have contracts. They have been contracting for several years. So they didn't just become this huge business, mega business by themselves. They became that huge because they understood the power of supply and demand, and they understood the power of government contracts to grow their business. So they are a huge supplier to the government. So if you have a supply company, you can supply those services and those type of knickknacks and information, whatever it is that, you buy on, and I buy everything on Amazon Prime. I don't know how many Amazon Prime accounts I got. I got it. But I shop on Amazon for everything. I don't even like going in the store unless I absolutely have to. You can grocery shop on Amazon these days. Ain't that crazy? You can buy groceries. You can get your I think they're in the pharmaceuticals now. I think you can fulfill prescriptions. You can buy glasses, like all different types of stuff. It's crazy. So hi, Tanae. I hope I said your name right. So we have, okay, so number 9 on my list is Verizon. Can you hear me now? Best believe cell phone companies. In fact, before we were able to access these types of technologies of mobile phones and things like that, the government had it first. They had cell phones and all that stuff first. So I remember before we even had cell phones, we had pagers, right? So I was around doing the pager. It was cool to have a pager on your hip and then to go to the phone booth and call the people back, or just, upside down text the letters or the numbers to create words on the pager. We were very creative. So hey Rhonda. So anyway, so Verizon it has a huge contract, multiple contracts. They have been servicing the government for years, for several years. So anyway, before we had access to that technology, they already had it. So they already had it in the military, in the Army, in the Navy. They already had that type of technology. Yes, she said, I remember pagers. Like I kind of miss pagers because I feel like it just came and went so fast, right? And then the first phone that we had was that fat flip phone. I remember the fat flip phone because at first only lawyers and doctors had the fat flip phones, and then people from the hood, I don't know where they was getting it from. I don't know how they got access to these phones, but before I knew it, it was a whole black market of fat flip phones. And then and then quickly it turned into like the smartphone and like these real mobile phones. They got thinner and smaller. Yeah, Nextel, companies like that. Black people are so creative. Exactly. So anyway, all right, so number 10 on my list, of course, we all know this brand because I'm pretty sure we've all either drank it or, consumed it. We think about it. It's a top known brand that actually it's named Coca-Cola. So the Coca-Cola company, which also is crazy because I think they own Sprite, and I think everything just stems from Coca-Cola. But anyway, if you know the history of Coca-Cola back in the day, they really had cocaine in the coca, in the cola. They really had that. But then I don't know how they became the top known brand in the beverage industry. But Coca-Cola has contracts with the government, and they don't just sell soda. They sell like juices and like all these other different types of beverages. So if you have like a juice store or a beverage store or whatever, best believe you can land a contract providing food services or food products or beverage products, because you got to imagine there's people going through boot camp. Of course, everybody eats. They have military food that's packaged. They have food specifically for those who are flying to Mars. What y'all doing in Mars? What you going up there for? I don't know what's going on. What y'all got secrets? So anyway, they got some secrets. I don't know what's going on in Mars, but they trying to figure out how to get up out of here, and and it's the rich people that's going. So that's why it's so important that we take our businesses and learn how to generate wealth so we can build our own shuttle to go wherever everybody else going, because we're gonna be stuck down here. So anyway, I just a side note. That's just a side note. But anyway, so that's my top 10 list. I'm just gonna recap. Lady of Virtue said, yeah, exactly. No, for real. No, seriously. Because you gotta think about Tandy said, I'm booking a consultation. Cool. Time to get back to business. You got to think about like when things are happening. I mean, and it's a lot of stuff that's happening. I don't know if it's just sensationalized in the media. I don't know if it's propaganda. I don't know if it's maybe because everybody has access to mobile phones, so everybody are news reporters now and video producers and all this stuff. But we see a lot more, right? It's probably stuff that's been going on forever, but of course, because it wasn't as accessible to us as it is now, like with internet and media and technology and social media and all this stuff, we see a lot more. But there's a lot of things happening. People are flying to Mars and they have it on the news, you know what I mean? So it makes you question, why are you up there? What are you doing? You're trying to build life up there. Like, what's going to happen with this planet? What is going on? Whatever it is, I know the rich got their pass. So if we still down here fighting over pennies and the crab in the bucket and trying to hold people back because we want to get ahead, all this stuff, we need to wake up, okay? Especially working class, middle class, you come from that class or whatever. This is the time to really think about, well, what am I going to do if X, Y, and Z don't work out when all the stimulus checks go away? And by the way, stimulus means stimulate that money back into the economy so it can go back to the government. So I'm just saying. So we have to figure out how to generate our own wealth so we can learn how to, buy our own land so that we can grow our own food, so that we can build our own shuttles and educate our own kids about astronaut stuff so they can fly us to our own moon, because there's some things going on that we don't know about. And the only way to be ready for that is to have some resources, right? You can't be like, oh, I'm broke and I don't know what to do, because jobs will disappear. Believe it or not, it's going to come a time, unless you're an essential worker or something, jobs will disappear, businesses will shut down, they will close their door. You see it happening right now all around us. That is why we have to be self-sufficient and independent. And the only way to get there is to really plan it out, think it out, and figure out what you're going to do to survive. Because we don't know what's about to happen in the near future, the near future. But I know what I want to do is learn how to grow my own food. So when there's contaminated food, I don't know what's happening in the air. It's stuff being spreaded all over the world, and it's intentional, I believe. And I'm just a conspiracy a person. I believe in conspiracy. It's intentional. How does a disease come out and then y'all all of a sudden 3 weeks later have a cure to that disease, and you're pumping everybody? I don't know. I have my own belief system. It's just me, but you have to, like she said, it's called survival. You got to be ready, right? And those who are ready, if you stay ready, you ain't got to get ready, right? So anyway, back to business. Let me bring it on back. Let me bring it on back. So we got to get down eye level. So when it comes to government contracting, right? Of course, there's a strategy, there's a process to it, right? And even if you accidentally stumble upon something and get a win, I think that's so amazing. But it's so much better to know it and to understand it and to know how to do it the right way. And so this is the reason why government contracting is something that will level the playing ground so that you can be prepared for what's to come, so you can generate wealth. Because guess what? And what I learned about the banks, which I'm sick and tired of, is that they don't, they take your money. They take your money that you put into the bank and they loan it out and they make money off of that. And then when you come and you need your money for something, you got to place an order. you got to wait a day or two. Why do I have to wait a day or two for my money that I put my money in there, not for it to be held hostage? And I don't like that. And so it's ridiculous. So you have to find a way, whether you have a safe or a safe deposit box or something, you have to find a way to have access to something that you can liquidate, whether that's real estate, whether it's gold, whether it's minerals, whether it's, I don't know about Bitcoins and all that stuff, but I know it's cryptocurrency and like all those other currency. Like, you have to maximize and optimize your portfolio so that you can always be ready. So anyway, so what I was going to say was, I'm having a workshop for next week. I said all that to say I'm having a 5-day challenge, right? And so this 5-day challenge could be beneficial for you if you've never landed a contract. It doesn't matter if you have SAM certification, doesn't matter if you have the economic disadvantage, woman-owned small business certification. It doesn't even matter if you figure that part out. If you don't know government contracting from the inside out, if you're not landing contracts, if you don't know your market share, like what they're spending and how much they're spending and who's spending it, this 5-day challenge, I'm going to take you eye level to that business so we can build that foundation together. Okay. And so it's happening on Monday for 5 days, once an hour, an hour a day for 5 days. Right. Not once an hour, but an hour a day for 5 days, starting on Monday through Friday. Plus, we're having 2 bonus days the following Monday and Tuesday. And in those bonus days, I'm going to bring some industry experts who's going to give you even more information, tips, and resources. And of course, During that challenge, I am going to make an offer for you to work with me and to walk out this journey for me to be able to walk out that journey with you so that you can implement everything that you learn. But you're going to walk away either way with action steps and knowledge and a game plan. Period. So this is the part that the people are like, I'm certified now. What? This is the part. This is the reason why they don't. This is the information that the now what will answer that that foundation understanding how it really works. So we're going to be doing that in the upcoming challenge. If you go to GovCon Challenge, I don't know if Stacia's still on here, but if you go to govconchallenge.com, you can register. It's only $55 to register to work with me over those 5 days, which is phenomenal because for those who have ever booked a consultation, my hourly rate is like $375 and up for the hourly consultation. So I'm going to be your coach for those 5 days for an hour a day. So that's huge, right? And for those who will be joining me in the upgrade as a VIP, we're going to have an additional day where we're going to talk about specifically, you get to ask me questions about your specific business and where you are specifically and the next steps specifically and action steps. And you get to keep all the recordings of not only the challenge, but the Q&A VIP Q&A session, as well as a free copy of my book, which is called The 10 Habits of the Highly Effective Entrepreneur, all that stuff, right? So we're going to give that to you for those who upgrade to VIP. So anyway, that is happening. Join me in the challenge at govconchallenge.com. And let me see, of course, there's some things you must know when it comes to government contracts. So we're going to cover the what for everybody that has questions about what is government contracts. You're going to know the answer to that. How do you do government contracts? Where do I find government contracts, and who is or who are those who are getting government contracts, and how to position myself for government like all those questions are going to be answered during these 5 days of working with me. So join me at govconchallenge.com. If you're already registered, let me know in the chat. Drop a 1 in the chat if you're already registered. If not, drop a 3 if you are going to register for the 5-day challenge and you're ready to take your business to the next level. And this is something that you're really committed and you want to do. You're ready to grow and scale. Don't sleep on government contracting. And I know it sounds kind of like government contracting. What is that? And it sounds kind of weird. It may sound like out of reach, but I'm going to show you exactly how it works in this foundation, right? So you can know exactly what you need to have in your business, documentation wise, right? And this business foundation that, by the way, that I'm sharing with you is going to open some doors for you to not only then be able to build business credit, but access capital, but also become, qualify for government contracts, all that stuff. So you're gonna know all that stuff. You're also gonna know the where to research and find out how much the government is spending on your products and services, so you can have your market share. So when you get your certifications, well, my percentage of the pie is going to be this, 2% of this $1 trillion, whatever. Even at 2%, that's a couple hundred millions, that's on the table. And so definitely we're going to have a game plan. So Rochelle Whitty said, I can't wait for the challenge again. Yay. Okay, cool. Well, Rhonda is registered. Lady of Virtue is going to register. Takita just registered. Super awesome. I can't wait to see you guys. But we're gonna knock it out the park. So so these top 10 brands, I want your name to be on that list, right? In the next 12 months, right? 6 to 12 months. Really, most people I say are landing contracts after 3 months of learning the complete system, which during the challenge, of course, I'm going to offer the opportunity for you to work with you throughout the complete system. So, and it's a 6-week process. So coming out of that, you'll be ready to actually land those contracts. So we're going to go from pre-qualifications to qualified to now landing contracts. So it's just in those phases, just like that. So Lady of Virtue, yay. Sandra say 3. So Sandra's going to get certified. Cool. Is it just for women? No, it's not. Good question. Great question. So I know, of course, primarily, of course, I attract a lot of women because I am a woman. At least I think I am. No, I am. So I attract a lot of women, primarily. But I help women and men, minority business owners. Could be a woman, a man. It could be a Hispanic. It could be an Asian or whatever. But yeah, definitely just small business in general, period. Those are the people that I help. And so if you qualify regardless of, your sex, your creed, your age, or whatever. If you qualify as a small business, then you're the one that definitely want to join me in the challenge. And you're ready to grow your business, and you want to know how this thing works. And you're ready for that. You want to learn it, the psychology behind it, because it'll take you so much further when you understand the full picture and not just that one piece of the puzzle. All right. So anyway, I hope this has been helpful and educational for you. I am here to empower, inspire, and uplift. Of course, you can always catch me here on Fridays at Family Talk. Y'all, how y'all like that Family Talk Friday thing? Like, I love it. Yeah. And it feels like, we have, we're working on some things, right? And we're figuring out some things. And now we're putting some action steps and some plans and some strategies, and the knowledge is there, all that stuff. Yay. So cool. I'll see you guys next week in the challenge. So I'll see you in the challenge. I'm looking forward for those who have registered, those who are going to get registered. Again, be sure to join me at the govconchallenge.com to get registered if you haven't already. And I highly encourage you to upgrade to VIP. Because VIP, you're going to get the recordings, which means you can watch it over and over, as much as you want. You get all the information and content at your fingertips. So, but if not, definitely still join me in the challenge, and be sure to bring your pen and notepad and be ready to take notes, be ready to write out the next action step that you need to take to get to the next level. You're welcome. Sandra just registered. Yay. Let's go. Super cool. Very knowledgeable. I love it. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. This Rochelle Whitty. Let me see. Sandra Smith just registered. Yay. Who else is registered? Takita is registered. Awesome. Who else got registered? Rhonda Cox says she is ready. Lady of Virtue is getting registered. So awesome. And all right, cool. So cool. I'll see you guys in the challenge next week. Let's go. Have a great day. Have a great weekend.